Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Seerah Sleep Story, your gentle place for peaceful, heart-softening stories from the life of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. My name is Amelia Charlotte, your calm narrator, and tonight I invite you to rest your body, still your thoughts, and listen to a true story of pain, regret, forgiveness, and healing. A story that can soften even the hardest heart. Tonight's story is not about a great victory in battle, nor is it about a miracle. It is about something even more difficult, something many of us struggle with every day. It is about forgiveness. Let your eyes rest, let your heart awaken, and let your soul be nourished with the gentleness of the Prophet's sallallahu alayhi wasallam's mercy. Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, was more than just the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was his protector, his supporter, his beloved family. Known as the Lion of Allah, Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, embraced Islam early and stood by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam with unwavering courage. When the Quraysh mocked the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, stood firm. He publicly declared his faith in front of the enemies of Islam. He defended the weak. He fought for justice. His bravery echoed through the early years of Islam like thunder in the desert. In the Battle of Badr, he proved himself a fearless warrior. But it was in the Battle of Uhud that destiny would take a tragic turn. A man named Wahshi ibn Harb was promised freedom if he killed Hazrat Hamza. May Allah be pleased with him. Wahshi was a slave, trained with the spear. He didn't care about Islam or the Quraysh. All he wanted was freedom. On the battlefield of Uhud, Wahshi hid behind rocks. From a distance, he watched Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, move like a lion, powerful, brave, fearless. But Wahshi waited for the perfect moment. Then he threw the spear. It struck true. Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, fell. The Lion of Allah was gone. The pain did not end there. Hind ibn Utbah, the wife of Abu Sufyan, mutilated the body of Hazrat Hamza. May Allah be pleased with him. She cut out his liver and chewed it in vengeance. The news spread quickly. When the Prophet found his uncle's body, his eyes filled with tears. He wept as he had never wept before. His sobs echoed through the mountains of Uhud. He said, "I have never stood before a more painful sight than this." He stood by Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, and said, "May Allah have mercy on you, my uncle. You were a doer of good, a maintainer of ties, and a defender of the truth." Wahshi got what he wanted. He was freed. But something within him began to weigh heavier than chains. Guilt. The image of his spear flying through the air, piercing the chest of Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, haunted him. Day after day, year after year. He heard about the Prophet's growing influence. He heard about Islam spreading. He heard about the conquest of Mecca. And finally, he heard that the messenger had declared amnesty to those who once opposed him. Could someone like him, who did not just oppose the Prophet, but had taken from him someone he loved, ever be forgiven? Wahshi decided to try. He disguised himself and traveled to Medina. He entered the masjid quietly, staying in the shadows, waiting for the Prophet to appear. When he did, Wahshi stepped forward. He said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah." The Prophet looked at him and asked, "Are you Wahshi?" Wahshi said, "Yes." He asked, "Are you the one who killed Hamza? May Allah be pleased with him?" Wahshi, trembling, replied, "Yes." The Prophet lowered his gaze. There was silence. The pain was real. The memory was fresh. Then he said, "Can you keep yourself out of my sight, for I do not wish to see you." Subhanallah. He didn't strike Wahshi. He didn't imprison him. He didn't humiliate him. He accepted his Islam, but he was honest about his grief. Here lies the lesson. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the most merciful of all human beings, the one who was sent as a mercy to the worlds, forgave Wahshi, but he also acknowledged his pain. He showed us that being merciful doesn't mean pretending we are not hurt. It means choosing not to retaliate even when the wounds are deep. We live in a world where many of us have been wronged, betrayed, hurt, forgotten. But how many of us can follow the sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and forgive even when the wounds are fresh? The Prophet taught us that it is okay to feel pain. It is okay to cry, but it is never okay to be unjust in our anger. It is never okay to harm others, even if we were harmed first. This story, the story of Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, and Wahshi, is not just history, it is guidance. Wahshi didn't take the Prophet's forgiveness lightly. He knew the weight of what he had done. So he tried to repay it the only way he could, by serving Islam. In the time of Abu Bakr, during the battle against Musaylima the liar, Wahshi once again picked up his spear, but this time it wasn't to harm the believers. It was to protect them. He aimed his spear at Musaylima, a false prophet who had led many astray, and with that same skill he once used at Uhud, he ended Musaylima's rebellion. Later, Wahshi would say, "I killed the best of men in the days of ignorance, and I killed the worst of men in the days of Islam." He never forgot what he had done, but he never gave up trying to change. Even after forgiving Wahshi, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never stopped loving Hazrat Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him. He would visit the grave of Uhud and say, "Peace be upon you, O uncle. You supported me when others denied me. You comforted me when others abandoned me." He never forgot, But he never allowed that grief to darken his heart. Instead, he let it teach us. Teach us that we can love deeply, hurt deeply, and still choose mercy. Tonight, as you lie in your bed, think of those who have hurt you. Think of the Prophet ﷺ who forgave the killer of Hazrat Hamza. May Allah be pleased with him. Can we not forgive someone for a harsh word, a mistake, a moment of weakness? Let go, not for them, but for you. Let the mercy of Rasulullah ﷺ wash over your heart. Let it heal you. Ya Allah, make us